have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right, hello everyone, Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. Okay, for those of you who stay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, let's get those likes up. You all know they have the Queen Shadow Band. Hey, Aboriginal Woman, Pearly, Coco Marshmallows, Born King, RG Titan, that Crazy Beach Aries, Internet Goulash, Nessie X. All right, I see you, Charlene. Okay, and I love you, Red Black. Halle Berry is here, Mr. Hotel. Okay, let's get into it. Internet Goulash in the house. Support the arts. Said Queen. Would love to hear you rap live sometime. All right, beloved, I just might. You never know. Amazing Grace is here. G from the land. Pennywise. RG Titan. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay. Hey, Chris. So I have you all a surprise Saturday morning live, honey. You all know I don't hardly go live on the weekends. Hello, Elder Baba Rashawn live. Peace and blessings, beloved. Okay, so hey, Sugar Mama. So let's get into it. Queen and Mona Huey is here. Desmond, shout out to my moderators putting in work on the weekend. Okay, so let's get into it. So, listen. I heard Dr. Jackie's name floating around here. I didn't really pay it much mind. But then a shout out to Truth Over Everything, who kept sending me the story for me to talk about it. So I said, wait a minute. Now, Truth Over Everything always sends me good stories to talk about. So let me see what this is all about. What did Dr. Jackie do? And so when I saw, the article about what she said, it really ticked me off and got under my skin. And you all who've been following me from day one, you know that this is a topic that's very near to my heart and true, because I just reported on the disparities in Black women's, having babies and stuff, and the mortality rates being higher, all of that. And I also showed you a video about Judge Hatchett's son, whose wife bled for 10 hours. Okay, over 10 hours. while giving birth, and she passed away. I also showed you several other stories. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to revisit that today. And also, I'm going to let you see what Dr. Jackie said, what people said afterward, and then what one of her patients says, and then we'll go into some other things. But let me just tell you all something. And I've said this to you before. At the end of the day, there has always been disparities in the way we get our medical treatments. Okay, Black people in general, specifically Black women, and especially as it pertains to delivering babies. This has been going on since slavery. They have used our bodies for medical experimentation. If you haven't read the book Medical Genocide, you should. And so let me just talk about it, because this even happened to Serena Williams. The day after giving birth to her daughter, Serena Williams was short of breath. Having experienced blood clots in the past, she had no doubt that she was struggling with a life-threatening pulmonary embolism. Okay, the trouble was no one believed her. I want you all to think about that, because Serena Williams is not ordinary folk. This is a wealthy woman who's a whole celebrity, but they still didn't believe her. Okay, they discount our pain. They act as though we're overreacting and just making a fuss. It's happened to me before. I have been in the hospital, and I was telling Mr. Hotel about this. I was telling Mr. Hotel about this before. I've been in the hospital in excruciating pain years ago, and a Karen was ignoring my pleas for something to relieve the pain. Now, when they bring in that little chart and they ask you, what's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? I said 20. And I'm not even joking. This lady sat there and said, oh, you're just exaggerating. I said, no, I'm not. Can you please give me something? And she just refused to. I said, can you please let me see my doctor? And she just refused to. Now, when the pain finally got so unbearable and I started going just off, just screaming, crying, and everything, she's trying to chastise me. Okay, so I know full well how this stuff happens. At the end of the day, I've experienced myself. Okay, I've experienced it myself. And so, I filed a formal complaint against that nurse at the end of the day, because you don't get to tell someone how bad or extreme their pain is. That's what you don't get to do. And if you're going to ask me the level of pain and I tell you you're not going to believe me, well, what are you even asking for? Okay, so this is what happens very often. Now, as I said, this has been going on since the days of slavery, when they performed surgeries on our people, specifically Black women, without the use of anesthesia. Vanessa Northington Gamble, a professor at George Washington University, said that between 1846 and 1849, Sims operated on at least 10 enslaved women without anesthesia. One enslaved woman, Arnacha, endured at least 30 painful procedures. This is what happens. Now, and I can tell you this, a friend of mine, who's also a subscriber to this channel, told me how their mother was having a surgery one time, and she woke up from the anesthesia. Apparently, the anesthesiologist had not given her enough. She literally woke up during the surgery. Now, this is something that you would expect to see in a movie, but this happened in real life. Okay, this happened in real life. I'm sorry, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But this happened in real life. Her mother woke up during the procedure. Can you imagine? So, like I said, this happens very often to people who look like me. Please pay attention. Let me put this phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, now, with that all being said, let's get into what Dr. Jackie said. And then I'm going to proceed to show you why people who think like her, who say the things that she says, are very dangerous to us. Okay, and the sad thing is she's one of us. But, this isn't the first time. Okay, because here's the thing. People like Dr. Jackie, they walk around and they won't call out racism and wanton supremacy. They won't call those things out. They'd rather deny it, sweep it under the rug, because it doesn't happen to them, because she's wealthy. Okay. And at the end of the day, she may not have had to experience it. And even if she has experienced it, she won't admit that she has. She'll do like Candace Owens, who says, oh, there's no racism. There's no such thing. But meanwhile, Candace, we all know, as I told you numerous of times, she sued for racism when she was in high school and enlisted the aid of the NAACP. But now she wants us to magically think that racism has disappeared. That's what people like Dr. Jackie will do. And they'll be the ones that when they get their ninja wake-up call someday, well, they'll just say, I can't believe that happened to me. Okay? Because they think they're better than the rest of us. That's how that goes. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on, let me read my Egypt's comment. It says, I experienced with my firstborn. They made me suffer 12 hours. He was breached, and no one in my family supported me, left me alone, took my baby when asked what was going on, brought him to me dead. I was so hurt and devastated. Oh my Lord, honey, I am so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. Is awful. And this is what I'm talking about right here. This is the kind of things we go through. But I tell you what, they'll take your placenta after you give birth. And they'll go and use that, okay? Sell it and make a profit. And you won't get a dime. Okay, this is what they do. And I've told you all that before. I told you, tell them you want to take your placenta when you're giving birth. You don't have to tell them why it's yours. It came from your body. If you want it, tell them you want it. And make sure you read everything you're signing beforehand, because they'll have you sign it away and you won't know the difference, okay? Please pay attention. You're not going to profit off me, and I'm not getting anything out of it. Okay, except a hard way to go in a short time to get there. And here's the thing too. When you're dealing with doctors, no matter what race they are, at the end of the day, you have to pay attention to different things that could be red flags. Go with your intuition. You all know that I'm prophetic. The Most High always sends me signs and signals, and I get downloads and things like that. Let me tell you something. I was going to go for a procedure one day, and the night before, the Most High told me that before you go in that surgery, before you let them put you to sleep, request that you have a consultation with your doctor and ask exactly what he plans to do. Good thing that I did, because that doctor didn't know what he was doing. Okay, when I asked him what he was going to do, it was the wrong thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, did you even get my charts? So I got him out of there. Okay, I called my ride and told him to come back and get me. He said, you're not having the procedure? I said, no, not with you doing it. Okay, and then when I went back to another doctor for the procedure, now I didn't know this doctor per se, but I had prayed over it, and this doctor was recommended, highly recommended. So when I got there, the first thing this doctor did, and this was a white doctor, his name was Dr. Schaffner. David Schaffner, shout out to him. He came and sat at my bedside, held my hand, and he said, ma'am, do you mind if I pray with you before we go into the surgery? He said, I always like to pray with my patients. That's how I knew he was the right one. Okay. That's all I'm saying. You have to go with your intuitiveness. Okay. So let's get into it and let's see what Dr. Jackie had to say. Likes up, everyone. Please get the likes up. Thank you in advance.
So yesterday, Dr. Jackie told us that we were all stupid, and we took the clip of her out of context.
Now, baby, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that one, okay? We're going to do a lot of things, but that one won't be it, okay? You out of order.
Now, ladies and gentlemen of the court of public opinion.
Do you want me to bring the receipts? Do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl? Because I got receipts.
I present to you Exhibit C, the full clip. Now, after we watch the clip, Jackie, I'm giving you 24 hours to get on your Zoom and explain to me what we got wrong.
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
Now let's
roll the clip.
What was the question?
Black females, why more mortality rate with black females?
Now, I wish we knew the answer, and I will not allow myself to say it is health disparity only. Same thing we're seeing with the CV, as you've told me we have to say, is we as a race have more comorbidities. And what do we mean by that? Diabetes, hypertension, asthma, thyroid, the things that can compound already having that, and you turn around and get COVID, or you're pregnant, or CV, then you definitely are seeing African-American women with more maternity deaths. Care is important. Crazy enough, we still see patients come into the hospital that patient has not seen a doctor her entire pregnancy. They're more likely to have hemorrhage in pregnancy or after delivery if you have fibroids. So it's so many things that go into that picture. And I don't want us to think it's just that doctors aren't taking care of Black women. Because I can certainly say for the doctors in my practice and around me, we give everybody equal care. Now, I'm going to qualify this and be Dr. Heavenly for a minute. Sometimes as African-American women, we're a bit more dramatic. And that you go to the doctor and you complain and you complain and you complain, and you're not taken serious because you cried wolf the entire pregnancy.
That ain't me, boo. I don't know what you talking about.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Okay, so I want you all to pay attention to how she said she's not going to allow herself to say, you know, that it's just doctors not taking care of Black women. At the end of the day, no, you're not going to say it. You're not, because Dr. Jackie is in fact a raccoon. So she's not going to tell the truth. That's what she isn't going to do. She's not going to stand up for Black women who look like her. And so with that all being said, I don't think any Black women should continue to go to her. Okay? That's what no Black women should do. She needs to be done and canceled at the end of the day. This should be the end of it for her. But hold on. Now I want you all to hear what this poor young woman said after visiting Dr. Jackie.
Another mother has come forward to share her birthing experience with Dr. Jackie.
I have been quiet about this for a very long time, but this has kind of felt like the straw that broke the camel's back. So in 2016, when I moved to Atlanta and I was pregnant already, expecting my son, when I was looking around and asking friends at the time for OBGYNs, everybody recommended Dr. Jackie. So, of course, I didn't know who she was, but I'm like, well, she got to be good if all y'all are going to her and there is no connection between these ladies that recommended her, so let me go to her too. Long story short, my son ended up being a stillbirth 36 weeks in my pregnancy. 3 days after I had had my appointment with Dr. Jackie.
Now, she will go on to say that when her baby had measured a bit smaller, Dr. Jackie decided against inducing her.
Long story short, they did not decide to induce me or do anything any sooner like I thought that they were going to, because she made it seem like I was about to go into labor like soon or be hospitalized. 3 days later, I'm having these pains. I'm thinking they're Braxton Hicks. I didn't know what was going on. So I called Dr. Jackie's office to let them know. I'm told, drink some orange juice, keep doing this and that. So that's what I did. And it still didn't feel well. A couple hours later, fast forward a few hours later, I'm at the hospital. I'm a couple days shy, 37 weeks pregnant, and I'm told that there is no heartbeat. So to hear a woman, I've been quiet about this story for a very long time. And when my mom touched down into Atlanta, my mom had a lot to say to Dr. Jackie, a whole lot to say to her. But to hear a woman like that, of her caliber, of her demeanor, make such a poor comment that Black women cry wolf, like, that is unacceptable. It's one thing to be somebody on the outside looking in, but it's another thing to have experienced her. That was actually the first Black doctor I've ever had. And to be honest with you, I think that's been the last.
Now, in the latter end of this video, Renee also stated that she did get an autopsy of her son because she just wanted to know. And it turns out her son was absolutely healthy. I think Dr. Jackie has had and will have and continue to have an impact on a lot of these mothers coming forward with their birthing stories in regards to her being their physician. And the really sad part about it is that I have yet to come across one positive video of a mother who encountered Dr. Jackie.
To be honest, I didn't see any positive videos about her either. And there were videos of women repeating how she spoke to them in a condescending manner. She was asking this woman, you know, where's the children's father? Oh, you didn't bring him with you, and all kinds of things. It was just all so crazy. This woman thinks she's better than the people that she services. And that's why no one should be going to her. No one that looks like me anyway. But here's her little lackluster apology. Please pay attention.
Happy holidays to you and yours. I'm taking a much needed pause to address comments that I made during a 2020 live interview with one of my castmates. First and most importantly, to Black women and mothers, including your friends, families, and the medical community who cares for you. Because my words left you hurt and feeling unsupported, I want you to know I hear you, I see you, I believe you, and I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I am brokenhearted over this. The guilt and reality that I have hurt and offended people, especially Black women, and some of my own patients, pains me to my core. As I look back over the 2-hour video again and again, I admit that I used the wrong words and descriptions to properly convey my concerns regarding maternal mortality related to women of color. But the fact is, we must do more because we are still dying more. If I could say it all over again, here's how I'd say it. When experiencing a health matter, keep a log of your concerns and symptoms so that you can provide them accurately to your physician. Have a buddy system, someone who can advocate for you when you're with a physician, especially when pregnant. Know that a second and third opinion is not just sometimes warranted, but necessary. I thank you for taking out time from your holiday to tune into my apology and my self-dedication to Black women and healthcare. I've been shaken and moved to be better.
I'm sorry, she could really miss me with that. First of all, lady, how old is she? About 50 something, right? She's not in her 20s. Talking about she's been shaken and moved to do better. You should have been doing better in the first place. And at the end of the day, she's not concerned. She's only bothered by what she said because she has gotten backlash from it. That's all that it is. She can miss me with it. She's a whole Karen. I want you to pay attention to how she sat there and did just what Karens do. She says, oh, I am sorry for my poor choice of words. Okay, like you just mistakenly said the wrong thing. She said exactly what she wanted to say and how she felt. That's what she did. She chose those words because that's how she feels. Now that she's getting all this backlash, she wants to try to turn it around. No, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. Any Black woman who goes her after seeing this and knowing these things that she said and done is absolutely crazy as far as I'm concerned. All right, she could miss me with it. But here's the thing that I thought was interesting. You see, she doesn't even accept Medicaid, which is interesting because she was just with Kamala Harris, the VP, or Kabami Harris, as I love to call her affectionately, of course. On December 17th, Vice President Kamala Harris joined Dr. Jackie Walters on the popular Bravo television show Married to Medicine to discuss a few things Harris wanted mothers to know about the work she has been doing around maternal health care. Harris implored the states that have not signed onto her initiative expanding postmortem care offered under Medicaid to do so soon, saying that in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, the United States of America, we have the highest rates of maternal mortality that Black women in our country in this era are 3 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth. I think it's inexcusable. Did she tell that to Dr. Jackie? Because that's what she should have been telling. All right. And Harris continued, we have been fighting for states to expand Medicaid coverage. We need all the states to sign on, and we need to let moms know that they're actually entitled to Medicaid coverage for up to for 12 months of postmortem care. And that's one of the things that we need to get the word out on. You know, it's really interesting because at the end of the day, as I said, Dr. Jackie doesn't even accept Medicaid. She doesn't even accept Medicaid. And, you know, some of these people that went to her or that tried to set up consultations with her and things like that or met with her, she said, or some of them said that she wants cash in some cases. She wants you to pay cash. Now, what doctor has ever asked anyone for cash? I can't think of any that I've ever gone to that didn't use my insurance and rather preferred cash. What do you all make of that? What do y'all make of that? You know what it seems like to me? It seems like to me that Dr. Jackie only wants a certain type of clientele. You see, that's why she talks down and speaks in a condescending manner to some of these women, because she feels like they're beneath her. She only wants the wealthy people who look like her to come. That's what I actually believe it is at the end of the day. And that's why she'll ask for cash, because, hey, if you can afford to give her cash up front, at least pay for half of it, well, then she feels like you have some money and maybe you're just worthy enough for her to waste her time with you. That's what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Okay? Oh, so ridiculous. Just another woman said, poor choice of words are exactly what she meant. Koala Bear Harris is a Koala Bear Harris. Is she black or white? Well, she's not black, according to her. Okay. And it gets me when some of these women who clearly don't want to identify as us, but then when it's time for elections or when they need something or they're trying to prove a point or they want to enlist our help and our support, then all of a sudden they want to act like us. Please sit down somewhere, Kabami Harris. All right. Roger said, do not go see her. Exactly. Sweetie said, Bravo is not happy. Samantha says it's shameful. Yes, it absolutely is, beloved. It absolutely is. Now, so let's talk about some of these mothers who experienced the loss of not only their lives and their children in some cases. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to show a TikTok that I did months ago. Hold on just a second. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. This story is very shocking, and it's also egregious and very sad. So brace for impact. This couple had a baby on July the 9th, and the baby was born without a head. Let's get into it. 20-year-old Jessica Ross's water broke at approximately 10 a.m. on July the 9th. Her and her boyfriend, Travion Taylor, they rushed to Southern Regional Medical Center in Riverdale, Georgia. Now, around 8:49, she was fully dilated, and so the doctor was telling her to push. So they're having some difficulties getting the baby to come out. Then they realize that the baby is stuck, okay, due to shoulder dystocia, which is where the baby's like trapped between the pelvic bone. So then at the last minute, they decide that it's best to have a C-section performed. Please pay attention.
So hard that the bones in the baby's skull, face, and neck were broken. When Dr. St. Julian finally took Miss Ross to the operating room for a C-section, a cesarean section, where they cut the belly and deliver the baby through the abdomen, when the womb was open, the feet came out, the body came out, and there was no head.
So Dr. Tracy St. Julian used an excessive amount of traction when she tugged on the baby's head and neck. And that's what led to this occurring. Now, they tried to cover this up, mind you. They didn't want them to see the child. They told them their child was deceased, but didn't want them to see it. And she wanted to hold her baby. So did Travion. But they kept giving them a myriad of excuses. And when they finally demanded that they be allowed to see their child and hold it, well, then they brought the baby to them wrapped tightly in blankets with the head propped up as though it were still attached to the body. How low down and egregious is this? They tried to cover this all up. Now, then, when they asked for an autopsy, and they thought maybe they could get a free one since it was, the hospital's likely their negligence, they didn't know exactly what had happened at the time. But so they discouraged them. They kept telling them, well, you're not, entitled to a free autopsy. So they hid this from them. They only found out that this child's head was detached from the body when the funeral home called them and told them. That's how they found it out, not from the hospital. Please pay attention. So the body was delivered by C-section at approximately 11:49 p.m. The head was delivered through the birth canal at approximately 12:11 a.m. This is also egregious. And the doctor's being sued for her negligence, for the fact that they tried to hide all of this, and also because she was grossly negligent and went against protocol by using extra excessive traction, pulling on that child like that. She should have known better. And also for not performing the C-section in a timely fashion, which could have avoided all of this. But this isn't the first time it's happened. You see, the same thing happened in 2012. Same thing happened in 2012 to Artesia Betts and her boyfriend, Travis Florissant. The doctors Gilbert Webb and Susan Moore discouraged them from having a C-section, said the baby should be born through the birth canal. And when this happened, the baby was born with a severed head the same way. The doctor likely used too much traction. And then he shoved the baby back up there and tried to play it off so they wouldn't even know what happened. Okay, this is all so egregious. Mind you, with this case that's going on now, the police are investigating this, okay, to see if there's anything criminal involved. Please pay attention. TikTok, this for entertainment purposes only. Can you imagine the horror of those young people? They're like in their early 20s. Okay, they're like in their early 20s. They had no idea what was going on. Those people did that to them and then covered it up. I mean, they literally wrapped the blanket tightly around the baby and propped the head up in there and brought it, wouldn't let them touch it, mind you, just let them look at it. Now, can you imagine not knowing this is what happened to your child? You don't know why your child is dead, why your child was born, stillborn, and then to find out that the doctor ripped the child's head off. also sick. And trust me, this happens more than you think. So, and Dr. Jackie knows these things. She knows about the disparities in medicine, specifically as it pertains to Black women. She knows all of this, but she'll sit there and act like everything's just fine. Oh, it's because we have diabetes. Oh, it's because we have high blood pressure. As if we're the only race that does. Okay, please sit down somewhere. Now let's talk about this young woman named Kira Johnson. Kira Johnson passed away when she was giving birth to her second child, her son. And it was also said, it was low down how the hospital did them because they ignored the father's concerns. They basically told him his wife was not a priority. Those of you who are my day ones, you saw this when I reported on the first time, as well as the one that I just showed the TikTok for. I reported on that one as well. I believe it was back in May. Okay, so let's get those likes up, beloveds. Please get the likes up. Thank you in advance.
Little boys playing, watched over by a mom they are too young to remember.
And so it's
Kira Johnson's husband, Charles, hasn't stopped remembering.
I remember mommy well.
He's still grieving, still angry from that night in hospital.
I can see the Foley catheter coming from Kira's bedside begin to turn pink with blood.
He says doctors told them now 3-year-old Langston's birth would be a routine cesarean section.
I just held her by her hands. I said, please, look, my wife isn't doing well. And this woman looked me directly in my eyes and she said, sir, your wife just isn't a priority right now. It wasn't until 12:30 a.m. the next morning that they finally made the decision to take Kira back to surgery.
As critical minutes turned into hours, Johnson says he was continually ignored by staff at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles as Kira's health continued to suffer.
When they took Kira back to surgery and he opened her up, there were 3.5 liters of blood in her abdomen from where she had been allowed to bleed internally for almost 10 hours. And her heart stopped immediately.
Johnson is suing the hospital for the loss of his wife, and with the case pending, Cedars-Sinai told CNN in a statement that they could not respond directly because of privacy laws, but that Cedars-Sinai thoroughly investigates any situation where there are concerns about a patient's medical care. Kira was a successful entrepreneur who spoke 5 languages. This is video she recorded teaching her firstborn son to speak Mandarin. This was a woman who could fly planes and skydive, seemed invincible to her family, which is why her death is so much harder to understand.
That's when I started to do the research for myself, and I realized that, oh my gosh, we are in the midst of a maternal mortality crisis that isn't just shameful for American standards, it is shameful on a global scale.
We have former employees and current employees from Cedars-Sinai that are on record speaking directly to the culture of racism at this hospital and how it contributed to Kira's death. That afternoon, that day, and for 12 hours that we advocated for Kira, I felt the feeling that many African Americans feel, and that's feeling invisible, particularly at a time when you're so vulnerable. And we have heard from so many, not only employees speaking directly to Kira's case, but employees and patients coming out of the woodwork. And so when we couple that with what's going on a broader scale nationwide, we know that the CDC's data shows us that African American women are 6 times more likely to die in childbirth than their Caucasian counterparts, right? And so when we put all these things together, we understand that Kira was not only in good health, she was in exceptional health. But the greatest risk factor that she faced was racism. And so my hope is that by filing this lawsuit and exposing this culture of racism and pushing for accountability, that this will protect other families from the nightmare that we've been through. And so I was concerned, but I'm thinking my wife is healthy, my baby is healthy, and we're at Cedars-Sinai, and this is supposed to be the best of the best. And what took place over the next 10 hours is still extremely difficult for me to wrap my mind around. We begged and pleaded and advocated for her consistently. And those pleas literally fell on deaf ears. We were ignored. We were given the runaround. We were dismissed. We were disrespected. And the sad truth is that as painful as this is, Kira is not an anomaly in this country. This is a pattern at not only at Cedars-Sinai, but at institutions throughout our country that African Americans and minorities are not receiving equitable care. And it's really time, this must change. We must take a strong, definitive stance against racism in healthcare because it's having catastrophic consequences.
And you're not just trying to collect damages, you also want the hospital to make specific changes. Walk us through that.
Absolutely. And so for me, that's one of the most difficult things about this is that for me, for the past 6 years, I've been consistent about asking for two things. And for me, they're quite simple. One is transparency, and the other one is accountability. Transparency about what is it that happened to Kira? How is it that you let a woman that wasn't in just good health, she was in exceptional health, walk into your hospital? We trusted you. I trusted Cedars-Sinai with the most precious thing in my life and not walk out to raise her boys, right? Transparency about what it is that you're doing as an institution to make sure that this doesn't happen to other mothers. And they refuse to answer either of those questions. But then accountability for every single person that was involved in Kira's care, right? And it would be wonderful and it would go a long way if they would simply accept responsibility. Because I think this is a moment for them to really take a stand and have an opportunity to make a difference. Because somewhere right now, as we approach Mother's Day, there's a family just like mine that is preparing to trust this place the same way that I did. And for me, it's an uneasy feeling knowing what I know about Cedars-Sinai and the true culture of what's going on there.
Noted that, and we do also want to note that Cedars-Sinai Medical Center released a statement, and in that statement it says, Cedars-Sinai was founded on the principles of diversity, inclusion, and quality health care for all. We reject any mischaracterization of our culture and values. While disparities exist throughout our society, we are actively working to eradicate unconscious bias in healthcare and advance equity in healthcare more broadly. We commend Mr. Johnson for the attention he has brought to the important issue of racial disparities in maternal outcomes. While federal privacy laws prevent us from responding directly about any patient's care, we have a longstanding commitment to making any changes to ensure we provide patients with the highest level of care.
For every 13 white women, there are 44 Black women who die from childbirth-related causes. Black women are 2 to 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women. Kira Johnson tragically lost her life after a routine C-section at Cedars-Sinai. Kira was allowed to bleed internally for more than 10 hours before the medical staff at Cedars-Sinai took action. You see, things like this, Kira Johnson's story and others like her, are the reason that Dr. Jackie's story, her callous disregard and disrespect for Black women, is so dangerous. And it is good that people are finally speaking out, because people like Dr. Jackie absolutely need to be exposed. Okay, so let's hear from Judge Hatchett, and then we're going to talk about Bishop T.D. Snakes. Pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And someone asked, was that Judge Hatchett's son? Yes, it absolutely was.
Hatchett, and it is her daughter-in-law in that piece who died after that C-section at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. Her son, Charles, who sued the hospital for wrongful death. That case eventually settled, right, Judge Hatchett? Yeah, but not settling enough because, just listening to your son, you know, he was there. He was the advocate.
He was
for your daughter-in-law.
Yes.
He asked the questions and he made the observations.
He did.
Yet he and you as a family felt that you had the information to also share that there was negligent care happening here.
No question.
Kira wasn't getting the assistance that she wanted. But did you know that right away? You know, within hours she would die after that C-section.
Right.
But, you know, did you see right in front of your faces what was happening?
Yeah.
But was it piecing together later, reflecting?
No, it was happening right then, Fred.
Wow.
I was there. Charles was there. Her mother, we were all there. And what happened is that Charles saw the blood in the catheter first and started asking questions. Kira's aunt, who's like a second mother, is a nurse, and so she was there. I left the hospital after a point because I had the 19-month-old and we moved back to the condo. But what I was told before I left is that the doctor may have nicked her bladder and they would go in and repair it, and at most it would take 15 minutes, right? And so since we'd been there for so long with this little one, I left, and I carried so much guilt for years after that, because I was like, if I had known, if I had been able to rely on what they told me. But all of what they told me was not true. She was internally bleeding. And when Charles has said, when they went in, Fred, there were 3.5 liters of blood. She was a size 2 on a good day. I mean, and she was in great health.
Yeah, looking at those pictures, she's vibrant.
And she's beautiful
fit,
inside and out. Marathon runner. She skydived. She had a pilot's license. I mean, she was a remarkable woman. And never, ever did I think that we'd walk into that hospital and never walk out without her. And I considered myself to be knowledgeable, but I did not know 7 years ago that this was not just unique to Kira. I knew that something was wrong. They didn't respond to her. There was a basis for a lawsuit. You know, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmom, but I'm also a lawyer, so I had all of these things kind of coming together. But what I will tell you is that this is outrageous. And the numbers that we're seeing don't paint the full picture, because every hospital is not required to report all of these statistics. I could not be happier now, that's not quite the right word, that the federal government has stepped in. But the real question is why has it taken 7 years?
Well, is it your family's experience that has helped to be the impetus of getting this in federal investigation, or getting this kind of attention? Because for a very long time, just as you alluded to, there have been many testimonies and people who have said there is disparity in care, particularly as you talk about Black maternal health care. But now, following the settlement and your son's pursuit of justice with Cedars-Sinai Hospital, and now this federal probe, what is different here? What do you and how do you think your family's experience helped push this along?
Well, I think first of all, and I'll be to tell you, CNN was one of the first people that had me on the air right after she died, to tell the story and to get the story out there. And I think the fact that we've had the ability to have this kind of platform for the last 7 years has made a big difference. We've spent a lot of time in Washington. Charles has been all over the country lobbying. But this is the difference now. The federal government coming in is unprecedented. We have never seen the Civil Rights Division of HHS launch this kind of investigation. What does that mean? That means that they can then hold up federal funding to that hospital. And the reality is that sometimes it takes money to get people's attention. I'm insulted, frankly, that Cedars put out this statement, we're concerned. Well, what have you done? Well, we've given $2.2 million to different organizations. That is minuscule. It's not enough, and it hasn't been systemic change. But now that HHS has opened this investigation, it will not just mean that Cedars-Sinai will have to be held accountable, but hospitals all over this country.
And what does it mean to you that Cedars-Sinai, through our reporting with Stephanie Elam there, that the hospital says it has been resolved, but there is no admission that they did anything wrong?
And that was part, and all of that is sealed. But the truth is that she went in healthy. They botched it. She was butchered. The autopsy is very clear about that. And that she was allowed to hemorrhage, not for an hour or 2 hours, but for 10 hours before they got her back to the OR. She never left the recovery area, so they knew that something was wrong. But instead of getting her back,
your son was telling them something's wrong.
Something's wrong here. And they were giving her transfusions as opposed to, there was an MRI ordered stat at 6:30. It never happened, Fred. Had they done that, they would have seen that she was bleeding internally and her life would have been saved. It was negligence all the way. The other piece is that this was her second C-section. The cut time should have been anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes to go back in through the original scar. How long did it take?
What's the answer?
The answer, it was less than 4 minutes. He butchered her. Wow. He butchered her. And to have little boys say, well, why can't my mommy come home from heaven?
These are two little boys, Langston
and Charles V.
Oh, so nefarious, honey. At the end of the day, someone said, Denise said the only reason this was elevated is because it was Judge Hatchett's connections. Yes, exactly. Now just imagine if that were you or me. Nothing would likely be done. And we'd be fighting them forever in court. This is 7 years later. This happened in 2016. Okay? So they still took almost a whole decade, really. This is what they do. This is what they do. And they have not admitted any fault. Deanna says, Dr. Jackie is the hunchback of Atlanta for that statement. She really is idiotic, honey, as far as I'm concerned. She really is a whole clown, okay? Very sad. Okay, so now let's talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes. So here's the thing. I saw this video maybe 5 or 6 days ago. I didn't show it to you all because I clearly thought this man was crazy. Some of the things that he was saying when he talked about Bishop T.D. Jakes having on a thong and holding a peach cobbler. I said, now this can't be true. This is someone being silly. This has to be a parody. I'm not going to show this. But then I went and did a little digging and I found out that what he was saying, I'm not going to say it's true. What I will say is that other people were saying the same thing. Other people were saying the same thing. So let's get into it. Now, all of this is alleged, okay? This is all alleged. All right, I don't know if any of it's true or not, but what I do know is that a whole bunch of people were saying this about a year ago, and the videos are still up. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen where this man is telling this nefarious story. Another reason I didn't share it at first also is not only because I thought that maybe he just was, just saying stuff, but because he was talking very slowly. Okay, he was talking very slowly, and I quite frankly got tired of listening after about 5 minutes. So with that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and play this, but you all listen to what he says. And before I share that, I want you all to see this picture, an old picture of Bishop T.D. Jakes that has resurfaced. It's very interesting. Please pay attention. Yeah. I'm going to need someone to please make that make sense, but here's another. Now, why is Kirk Franklin sitting upon his lap like he is Santa Claus? I have several questions. Okay? This is all nefarious at the end of the day. So anyway, let's get down with the get down. I'm going to share my screen. I put this video in 2 parts because it's like 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to play the first 7 minutes. Let's get into it.
I was contacted by this gentleman, Tyrone. Tyrone works on the security team for Jakes at the Potter's house. And it was, early. He had a couple of pictures. He had a picture of Jakes in a thong with a peach cobbler that he had made. And then Jakes had bought him a motorcycle, and he had a couple of pictures of Jakes in a very provocative manner, chest down on the motorcycle and tooted up in the thong. And so they were, it's always when you are a side piece or when you are a, person that is being used or that is used sexually, there's always someone that comes down the line that's younger, finer, better body, or something that piques the person that you're involved with interest and somewhat knocks you down, somewhat puts you lower on the totem pole. You're not getting as much money. You're not on the forefront of their mind as you were. You have dropped down where you're not going on every trip. You may be going on every other trip. You may not even be traveling anymore. Yes, I have seen the photographs and possibly have them. So he reached out, and I wanted the story. I wanted the story. I was gun ho. He and I quickly developed a friendship. I'm contacting him. He's contacting me. We're consistently talking. He's letting more and more of his guard down and going into more detail about what he was participating in. Now, he was an adult male. What I will say, I'm not necessarily familiar with, not to say that there wasn't, but I'm not familiar with whether or not there were any young or underage guys that ever was involved. Tyrone was handsomely played and well taken care of. But some things were happening. Some things had happened where he was not in the forefront with Jakes anymore. And he wanted to come forward because he was very much upset that this man that he had been sexually involved with was pretty much stepping away from him. And so he was trying to figure out a way to work or rework his footing and to get back in place, back in position, back in play with Jakes. We kept going back and forth. There was a lot of things that transpired during that period. There was a number of three-way conversations with him on the phone that was at best very bizarre to hear a person like a Jakes talk sexually, talk about things that they had done and that he had done to him, and that what he wanted to be done and to happen moving forward. Tyrone, based upon his photographs and his discussion, was extremely well endowed, and was very, I gotta save this stuff for the podcast, but very pronounced and aggressive sexually. And I'll go into in the podcast too in some more.
Okay, this man clearly sounds crazy. Okay, clearly sounds crazy. Now, I see somebody said he was clout chasing. I absolutely believe he was clout chasing. No doubt about that. I absolutely believe he was clout chasing, but some of that stuff that he was saying, as I told you, there's a myriad of other people talking about it. Now, one girl's channel, she seems to have been investigating this quite thoroughly about a year ago, like I said, and there were other people that made videos about it. So apparently this guy by the name of Daryl Patrick was supposedly Bishop Jakes' allegedly his stylist. So they say that he was on the plane that Keon Henderson, who is Shawnee O'Neal's her husband, all right, they say that he was on the plane as well. And then there was a discrepancy because supposedly, allegedly, Daryl was flirting with Keon. So someone got upset and threw him off the plane. They stopped the plane, made an emergency landing, and had him to get off. Now, they say when he got off the plane, he allegedly stole Bishop T.D. Jakes' iPad. So these pictures that he mentioned were supposedly, allegedly on the iPad. So with that all being said, Chrissy said, Queen, why is T.D. Jakes striking people's channels now in some of these videos from a year ago? Well, here's the thing, beloved. He can't strike them for videos, these videos right here. He's striking people who used his content. That's what he's doing. He's striking people who have used his content. He can't do anything about people doing videos saying whatever they think or speculating. He can't do anything about that. He's only striking people who are using his content. And the thing is, those have obviously turned out to be false strikes, because when someone strikes your channel, you usually get banned for a week. And so Storm Monroe's channel is still up. And then there's another guy named Moxie Official or Moxie Approved. He says that he got his channel was hit with a strike from T.D. Jakes' people allegedly, and his channel is still up. He's not banned. So the guy said that his was a fake strike. So at the end of the day, you have to be sure that you're striking people's channel for the right reason, or the videos are not going to come down. That's how that works. I showed you all the video yesterday with the guy explaining all that to you. So anyway, that all being said, this man, I'm going to play a little bit more, okay, of the second half, and then we're going to get into the rest of this. I'm trying to upload something real quick on this other computer for you all.
Kind of graphic detail as to what he likes, what he liked, and
okay, actually I've heard enough for him. He's talking way too slow. I cannot. All right, so with that all being said, I'm going to go to this other video. Like stuff, everyone please like and share. Here we go.
The bishop got up and he addressed it now. This is exactly what he said at church.
I know who I am. That ain't what this is about. You can think whatever you want to think. I don't care. I came to do my job. I came to prophesy as I was commanded. I came to hear the master say, well done, thou good and faithful servant.
Bishop T.D. Jakes ain't got time to worry about you freaks and what you doing and what you got going down to the Diddy parties. He has other things of a higher nature to worry about. At least that's what he said today at church. I want you to take a listen at this.
You know what I was really worried about all week? Our terrorist threat is at its highest level. And I spent my week making sure that everything that we needed was in place in case there was an attack. The attack is supposed to be against synagogues and churches in the South, and I knew today would be a target. And we have all kinds of extra security precautions in place over your car, at the door, in the roof, in the back. I have to think about that. And anybody who has that kind of government on their shoulders don't have time to be playing with freaks. Now,
you can say what you want to say and you can believe what you want to believe, but it to me seems like unless there is some compelling evidence that's going to come out and somebody really bring receipts, then there's no reason for you to talk about this. However, Jermaine Tough Podcast said he gonna keep talking about it. Tough TV said he gonna keep talking about it. He got a whole new video up. Now, I'm not gonna watch it unless somebody tells me to watch it and say that the evidence was presented. But I ain't finna keep playing with a man of God like this. I'm not gonna be able to do it, not on Christmas Eve.
So he called them freaks. Andrea said this man is delusional. He's going straight to jail. Oh my goodness, I absolutely cannot. Hold on.
I wasn't going to address these silly rumors.
Hold on.
It is so
They're called voodoo. And if you go to Haiti, voodoo is actually recognized as a religion. Look at Haiti and we ask, why is it one of the poorest countries in the world? There is a spirit that has set on the region.
The spirit that's contributed to the poorness of the Haitian people is called colonization and the remnants of white supremacy. Black Christian pastors with large followings and local followers need to keep their lips off of spiritual practices and religions that they do not understand. Because when you consciously choose to preach to a congregation and demonize an oppressed group of people in the name of your own religion, that makes you a white supremacist in blackface. If you're a black pastor, 9 times out of 10, you've been to theology school, which teaches you the history of the Bible. And since you're black, one would assume that you know the implications of using the Bible and how the Bible was used to justify the transatlantic slave trade. Black Christians throw rocks from a glass house on a regular basis because everything that you practice, whether it be in church or in your house, are just remnants of hoodoo from your ancestors. Keep anointing your head with oil, referring to Psalms. Know your place.
Okay, so I find that all interesting. So that person who he was just talking about, that was Keon Henderson. Now, Shawnee O'Neal's husband. And like I told you, they were alleging that he was on their private plane when they took Daryl Parker off. Also, here's the thing. Daryl Parker is now deceased. The guy who was supposed to be the stylist who allegedly stole the iPad after he was allegedly kicked off of the plane, after they allegedly made an emergency landing. Pay attention, I keep saying allegedly for a reason. Okay, so he turned up dead. Like maybe, I want to say a few years later or something like that, but they say that he had fallen out of favor with TD Jakes, that they had not been talking allegedly. And so they thought it was odd because they also say that allegedly his body was eulogized at the Potter's house. And so people had a lot of questions like why that even happened when he hadn't spoken to this man. They also said that he'd gone silent on social media. He wasn't really posting anything. One of the few things that he did post, according to this one lady, I can't remember the name of her channel, but she was kind of really investigating this a year ago. She said that she found a link that he posted on his Twitter, I do believe, and she clicked on the link and it took her to his YouTube channel. But the video was privated. And she said she couldn't see what it says, and now we'll never know because he's deceased. But she said she thinks that video may have had some clues on there about something that was on that iPad. Okay, and also the guy who was talking about the peach cobbler and all of that stuff, he says that one of TD Jakes' own security gave him those pictures or showed him the pictures. So I don't know if that man's telling the truth, because like I said, when I first heard it, I thought he sounded crazy. But here's the thing to think about. If this man is lying, if any of these people are lying, specifically the guy that was talking, because he didn't say allegedly. Everyone else was saying allegedly. Now, that guy who I played you all the video of, he never said allegedly. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of his video. But at the end of the day, how come nobody sued him? How come nobody is suing him or anything? How come the security guard, whom he claims gave him this information and showed him the photos, how come that person's not suing him either? I just have a lot of questions. Okay, I just have a lot of questions. Sugar Mom said Potter's house is a smokescreen. Allegedly, beloved. Allegedly, right? So anyway, hold on. I'm going to play a little bit more of that guy's video. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all of it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
Kind of graphic detail as to what he likes, what he liked, and the stamina of, or the length.
Okay. Now he's just doing too much. I'm sorry. With that all been said, he is doing clearly too much. Okay, I didn't listen to this whole thing because I got tired of listening, like I told you all. And now he's talking about stamina and all of that and who likes what. I just want the specifics. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. That crazy bitch Eric said wigs everywhere. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, Timber Dan said, please stop it, Queen. Felicia said, yes, we have questions, okay? So anyway, listen. You all are terrible. Okay, so listen, I'm going to play one more video. Shout out to Idris TV for this one. Then we're out of here.
I wasn't going to address these silly rumors, but it's getting so out of hand that I have to swallow my pride. You see, even if the rumors are true, the good news is, all I have to do is just ask for forgiveness and repent of my sins, because the blood of Jesus covers me whole. You see, some people think I started as the top. On top. Forgive me.
Let him use you, baby. Let him use you.
Started from the top. But the reality is, I started from the bottom. It was a long, arduous, strong, thick, bushy road from the bottom to the top. But there's power in the bottom. Turn to your neighbor and say, there's power in the bottom. That's right. Come on, get ready. There's power from the bottom to the top. Come on, Lord. I don't think you hear me. Get ready. In 2024, we're going to activate the bottom and go all the way to the top. Yes. Get ready. I'm telling you right now that the Lord has activated my bottom and I'm going straight to the top. Yes. Oh. So many people ask me, why, Bishop? Why were you at the Diddy parties? Well, I was doing God's work. Yes. I was laying hands on the sinners and on the strippers, especially the unholy ones with strong libido. Oh, yes. Sometimes in life, you have to be swallowed up to get to the top. Have you ever been spit on and you have to swallow it up? In 2024, I don't want a church of followers. I want a church of swallowers. Turn to your neighbors and say, I want to be swallowed. Yes. Get ready. Say, I want to be swallowed. Yes. When I was at the bottom, all I could see was a gleam of light. They had to swallow it up and activate the power of my bottom. Turn to your neighbor and say, there's power in the bottom. Yes. Get ready, guys, to this power!
Nefarious. Okay, I am not. I cannot with him. And then he was wiping his sweat with some dirty arse underwear. Tina said, I can't, Queen. Honey, I can't either. Courtney J said, I'll halt to mess. Roger said, awesome. Big B Tennessee said the devil set him up. Claudette said that did it. Chris said play it one more time. Y'all are crazy. Roger said Tyler Perry hired that man. Sylvie said, oh, OMG, he's wiping his head with draws. Okay, y'all said play it one more time. Hold on. I will. Y'all are so nefarious.
I wasn't going to address these silly rumors, but it's getting so out of hand that I have to swallow my pride. You see, even if the rumors are true, the good news is all I have to do is just ask for forgiveness and repent of my sins, because the blood of Jesus covers me whole. You see, some people think I started as on top. Forgive me.
Let him use you, baby. Let him use
Started from the top. But the reality is, I started from the bottom. It was a long, arduous, strong, thick, bushy road from the bottom to the top. But there's power in the bottom. Turn to your neighbor and say, there's power in the bottom. That's right. Come on, get ready. There's power from the bottom to the top. Come on, Lord. I don't think you hear me. Get ready. In 2024, we're going to activate the bottom and go all the way to the top. Yes. Get ready. I'll tell you right now that the Lord has activated my bottom and I'm going straight to the top. Yes. Oh, so many people ask me, why, Bishop? Why were you at the Diddy parties? Well, I was doing God's work. Yes. I was laying hands on the sinners and all the strippers, especially the unholy ones with strong libido. Oh, yes. Sometimes in life, you have to be swallowed up to get to the top. Have you ever been spit on and you have to swallow it up? In 2024, I don't want a church of followers. I want a church of swallowers. Turn to your neighbors and say, I want to be swallowed. Yes. Get ready. Say, I want to be swallowed. Yes. When I was at the bottom, all I could see was a gleam of light. They had to swallow it up and activate the power of my bottom. Turn to your neighbor and say, there's power in the bottom. Yes. Get ready, guys, to this power!
I absolutely cannot with him. Okay, you all follow him. That's Idris TV, IDRISS TV. All right, so with that all been said, everyone enjoy the rest of this lovely day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me?